You wrote an article this week, Geoff, talking about the financial situation as far as how funding may be allocated in the city with the money that's coming from the state. For the people who don't understand, and I'll be honest, I'm the people.
Yeah.
I don't understand what y'all are talking about. Break that down for the people, like what's really going on and how you think the money should be allocated.
Well, I mean, really, Sam Hardiman from the Daily Memphian understands it more than I do, and he wrote the news story, and I sort of wrote a column to go along with it. But the real problem is this, is that there's 600 million, give or take. Maybe it's 650, maybe it's 620, depending on the various income streams. Like, for example, one of the income streams is a sales tax rebate on stuff that's sold at FedEx Forum. Well, if a lot of stuff is sold, that's going to be more money. If the Grizzlies tank and not a lot of stuff is sold, it's going to be less money. So we don't know exactly how much money there's going to be. But if you start by saying that you look at what they did in Indiana, where the arena looks exactly like FedEx Forum. It was the same basic arena.
Right.
And there they spent north of $400 million of public money to redo that arena in 2019. So if it's 420, whatever it was, I think it was 420 of public money in Indiana in 2019, that's 475, 500
today.
Now here today. If there's only $600 million, well, you've promised the Liberty Bowl 150 to 200 million. So let's say it's 200 million for the Liberty Bowl. There's not enough money. There's not enough money for 500 for FedEx Forum and 200 for the Liberty Bowl.
Simple math.
Plus, they wanted a soccer stadium and they want to fix up AutoZone Park. It's just math. There's not enough money. And so I honestly think what's happening is they're negotiating with the Grizzlies about what the Grizzlies will take. And the mayor very clearly wants everybody to be happy. He wants the soccer stadium. He wants AutoZone Park. He definitely wants the Liberty Bowl. And then he wants the Grizzlies to sign a new 25-year lease. But what that depends on is getting the Grizzlies to agree to a sum that is less than the Grizzlies want, honestly.
Yeah.
And I think those are the negotiations that we're looking from the outside. I don't know exactly, but I suspect those are the negotiations that are happening. And of course, the mayor's term is coming to an end.
Right.
He'd like to get it settled, so he can claim victory over getting the money for everybody.
Right.
And so I think that's what's happening now. And it's always going to be hard when you have one pot of money. It's going to be hard to divide up that pot of money because if one person gets, for every dollar that one person gets, the other person isn't getting it. So I don't think it's alarming that there's tension, but there is tension. And I think it's becoming clearer that there's not enough money for everybody to be super happy.
Yeah, it's very interesting for sure, man. I kind of feel like I know how this is going to play out in the end.
How do you think it's going to play out?
I think the Grizzlies are going to get what they want, man. They should.
I think, it's very clear. The Grizzlies have to be the priority because they're the most important team in town and because they could leave, honestly, if that's just the reality. But I think the mayor really wants to take care of the Liberty Bowl.
Yeah.
And in particular, the University of Memphis.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly how it's going to play out. And I don't know whether... let's be honest. I don't think the ownership group of the Grizzlies right now wants to kick in a lot of money. And I think the mayor thinks they probably should kick in money. That would be my guess. Now, the truth of the matter is you can argue that the University of Memphis should kick in some money too. Like, why do they get the free ride? Most universities raise money to build their own stadiums, right? So why aren't they kicking in money? But all this is happening, behind the scenes. I think it'll be ultimately worked out. Like, I'm not worried that the Grizzlies are leaving.
Yeah.
But I do think that you have to take care of them. Like, that's just reality. You have to take care of them. You're trying to get them to sign a new 25-year lease. And they're not going to sign a new 25-year lease unless they're happy with the building.
Right. And that's just period.
That's just the way it goes. Yeah.
It's just the way it is for sure.